Welcome to episode 4 of Mainly Irrelevant, a geek podcast where we talk about things that are mainly irrelevant. All right, today we're going to talk about
games that no one else has ever played.
Games we love that no one else has ever played.
Yes.
I guess I should start. I have props.
Yeah.
I'm going to start.
Go with your props.
This little dude, is named Rasputin. And I got this as part of the campaign put on Fig for Psychonauts 2, which is awesome.
I've never played
which is so awesome. And my first game that I'm going to talk about is Psychonauts, and I actually have the box. Yes, so Psychonauts is awesome.
Yeah.
I guess should I talk about the premise a little bit? Yeah, so it's a platformer, and the premise is that this little dude is
so many discs.
Yeah, man. It's he's kind of like in a summer camp to train Psychonauts, which are kind of like scouts and like rangers that can go into people's minds.
Right.
And so the entire game obviously starts off with like boot camps on like how you navigate people's minds, and there's like really cute kind of things like figments of imagination that you can collect. And like mental cobwebs that you can take out and all that stuff. So there's like a whole kind of system where you get badges like a scout, and then obviously in the middle of the camp something happens, and your actual adventure is to go through the minds of various people scattered across the camp to solve a mystery. And so you're actually platforming through their mind levels. And it's insane. So there's one guy. So the first level is the sort of camp counselor who used to be in the military. So his mind level is very much army, like military based. And then you have people who there's like a Spanish artist, like a bullfighter. There's someone who has a delusional kind of complex, like Napoleon complex. So his mind is like a board game set in like Napoleon. It's just like. The story is great, the artwork is great, the music's great, the humor is cool, and so I think I've played this maybe.
The level design reflects.
Absolutely, yeah. So one of my all-time favorite games, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have it, but I still haven't played it yet.
You should play it.
Yeah.
The when Psychonauts 2 came out, or the announcement came out, I was like, I just went and backed it like immediately. That's why I have this little figure. And if you haven't played it, you should definitely go play it. I think it's on Steam.
It's really cheap. It's like
it's super cheap.
$10 or something.
It's a pity that no one actually ever really. I think on Wikipedia it said this was one of the games that one of the best games that no one's ever heard of. That was one of the official reviews.
I've heard of it. I just never really.
And my mic is dropped.
Yeah.
And
so
next game?
should I? I'm going through our next game too. Oh, Psychonauts is by Tim Schafer as well. So like Grim Fandango and all that stuff. And what was that Jack Black one? The one with the rock, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know which one.
Brutal Legend.
Yeah, Brutal Legend.
Yeah, so that was all Tim Schafer. Okay, I guess I'll talk about my second game. I also have a box. This is Jade Empire. I'm so proud that I brought 2 games that Alvin hasn't played or heard of, which never ever happens. Yeah. Jade Empire is also one of my all-time favorite games. This is by BioWare before Anthem BioWare.
Before Mass Effect Andromeda BioWare.
Yeah. I mean, this was so. Disclaimer is I am not a very good sort of FPS player because I get easily nauseous, so I can't really do a lot of like first-person angles, especially. So I love the Mass Effect story, but I can never really get into it because I get nauseous when I zoom into the shooting. Jade Empire is third-person, which is good. It's an action RPG, and the world it's kind of like a. Have you heard of the term silk punk? It's kind of like steam. You know, steampunk is like old industrial kind of like a vibe. Silkpunk is like ancient Asian history.
Like martial art.
Yeah, there's martial arts. There is kind of like bamboo kind of structures. There's like Chinese temples and all that stuff.
Like Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, exactly. But the punk area is like there's machinery set in there. So you can see like this little thing. There's like this is called the Dragonfly, which is like the main kind of aircraft. It was made by bamboo, but it's like a full-blown like jet. Anyway, so this is if you've played kind of like Knights of the Old Republic, it's kind of similar, except the combat is more action-based. So it's like you click and you fight and all that stuff, and you also have like light side and dark side. Here it's like a different, you call it different things, but the story is pretty much the same. but it's just really cool. Like I had and still have never seen a cool game set in this kind of theme. I've always wanted them to do a second version, like a sequel, but they went on and did Anthem, which is
No, you're skipping way ahead. They did Mass Effect.
they talk. No, honestly, they've been talking about a sequel for many years. I think the last time BioWare was asked about a sequel was maybe like 5 years ago.
Well,
so
I guess
it's
it's not
actually
happening now.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, so that's a pity because I would love to see this developed into like a franchise because I think it's really cool. But there's like a lot of like kind of Chinese inspired mythology. There's different schools of martial arts. There's like kind of magic and stuff like that too. So
I think you replayed this game a couple of times.
oh yeah, I think I've played these two games like at least 3 or 4 times
Each?
like, each. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
Should get
That's-
some new games.
I should get some. I should. I'm working through some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't play Anthem. It's not for you.
I won't.
It's not
Yeah.
for actually anybody.
Cool. That's me. I have these 2 things, so I'll put this down to you.
Awesome.
What about you, man?
So, the first game I want to talk about is a game called Vegas Stakes. So this is a really old game. It's like in 1993, 94. So it was on the SNES, and it's a casino simulator. So the game is really simple. So you start off, you're going to Vegas with a bunch of friends, and then you check in at a hotel, and then your friend asks you, oh, you want to go down and play some games, right?
Hangover the game.
So there's 5 games you can play. You can play blackjack, roulette, craps, slots, and 7 card stud, I think. And then obviously you don't have much money. You have $1,000 in the beginning. So you have I think 4 or 5 hotels to choose from with different max bets and minimum bets. They all have the same games, but they have like different like layouts and stuff. Like they have better, nicer tables and everything. So basically, you want to win enough money to get to the next hotel, and then basically work your way up. And then the last one's locked until you have enough of a bankroll. Then you can lock it, and then like to win the game, you need to earn $10 million. But the fun thing about the game is that randomly when you play, the game will have events where some people will come up, because it's Vegas, right? There's con artists. People will come up, say, oh, you have a spot on your shirt. Then you can choose what to do. You can like ignore them. You can ignore them. Okay. And then you can like let them like help you, right?
Yeah.
But then like it doesn't. There's no it isn't always a right answer. You can like let them help you, but then they might swipe your wallet, and then you lose like all your money, like half your money.
Oh wow.
So everything is like kind of like a gamble.
Wow, this is a casino RPG.
Yeah. And then when you beat the game, it took me a long time to actually beat the game.
Okay.
When you beat the game, because I was so young back then, it let you type in what you want to buy. Like after you won so much money,
Yeah.
what's the first thing you want to buy? And you actually got to type it in.
Okay.
So it was like making a wish at that point. It's like
I want to buy a car.
it's like oh my god. Yeah. So yeah, it's actually
Unlimited M&Ms.
yeah, it's actually a really fun game. A second one I talk about came out within the same time, I think in 93, 94 as well. This game was one of my all-time favorite games. On the PC, it's called Pizza Tycoon. It's also called Pizza Connection.
Yeah.
So it's very, I wouldn't say similar. You know how like all the restaurant sims right
Yeah.
now? Basically, you have a restaurant. You can like buy furniture, and then you have a menu. It's always like this buffet style. You
Yeah.
put it there, and then people like come and get it, and you stock it.
Yeah.
And then you expand your restaurant, and that's about it. So Pizza Tycoon. The cool thing is, your restaurant that's trying to expand this Pizza Empire. You can design your own pizzas.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's really cool. So you can
You
design.
sprinkle stuff on.
Yeah,
it?
you can design
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
point where you can put exactly where you want your different
There's
ingredients.
like a screen where you actually see the bread, like the bread, right?
So you have your dough. You put your sauce on, and you put all the ingredients on, and then how well your pizza sells is based on the demographic of the people in your area.
Yeah.
So you can't just like randomly put stuff. But the whole game is kind of like it has this comedic kind of vibe. So like some of the characters aren't human, and then like if you don't have enough money, you don't have enough money. You have to go to the loan shark, but the loan shark is like this like ant or like this cockroach or something. So there's like a lot of humor involved.
Okay.
But the cool thing is, you have competitors as well. What you can do with the competitors is you can like pay somebody money. You can send them like stink bombs. You can send rats. You can actually bomb their place. And if you get in trouble, you can, if you have enough money, you can bribe the police. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
It's a really cool game. Like for that time, it was really deep. You can like do a lot with that game. Yeah. And then you also have a restaurant floor. You can also like put furniture and then buy better furniture and decorate your place and stuff as well. Yeah. It was really cool game. So the original Pizza Tycoon, I think we released on Steam in 2017.
Nice. I might actually go and play that. That sounds really cool.
And then there's a Pizza Connection 2, which is also on Steam. It's slightly improved, a bit better version of the first one, but it's kind of janky because it was built on Windows 2000. And then there's a Pizza Connection 3, which is...
Why would anyone do that?
There's a Pizza Connection 3, which is complete crap.
Okay.
But that was really disappointing because I was actually hoping for a really good sequel to the Pizza Connection or Pizza Tycoon 1.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these good games, like we all want like good sequels, and they never come out with sequels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about you?
I have 3 games to talk about actually. First one is I'm a mobile games developer, so I have a very like my favorite mobile game is
all his own games.
That no one has ever played.
Just plugging his own games.
No one's ever played. I'm not that lame. There's a game called Bad Piggies from Rovio. I know a lot of people know like Angry Birds from Rovio, but they actually have before they made Angry Birds, they had this game called like Alex's Machines or something. I forgot the name, but then it was about crafting machines, and it's like a physics-based game, and then they spun that off with the Bad Piggies from the Angry Birds universe. And what you do is they have levels with goals in it, and then they give you like little parts in like a wooden box or wheels or rockets or whatever, and you just have to build a machine that can solve those, like get those boxes or solve those goals or puzzles. And then what happens is they give you this really, really big level, and they give you all the parts. Like you can use anything. You do like I made a 3-stage rocket booster. I made like you can make a helicopter. You can put a car in the helicopter so you could fly to a certain part, and they can drop you down, and then you can like. There's a lot of stuff you can do with the limited.
Like the level creator.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's not a level creator. You don't get to create levels, but there is one big level where they just give you a really big canvas and like all the parts that you can use. And so you can, with very simple mechanics, you can actually build really complicated machines to solve those issues. And I think these still up. I got all 3 stars up until a certain level, but I wouldn't go check the guides, and I wouldn't like play at the next level until I get 3 stars. So I was like actually stuck on a level on the last world or something, and I stopped. But then it's still on my phone. It's like one of the, I think, best mobile games out there, although I don't think a lot of people played it. Next one is actually I'm plugging one of my dad's games that he made in the 90s. He made a game called The Adventures of Dr. Frankenstein, and he actually calls Frankenstein's monster Dr. Frankenstein, which is completely wrong, but whatever. In that game, it's like you have a bunch of levels, and they're non-linear. So it's like you drop into a level, and then you can go up, down, left, right on the whole level. It's 2D back then. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to find parts of your wife.
Parts of your wife.
Like back
like here's my wife's arm.
like the Frankenstein monster. There's a movie, the second movie, where they like back then the black and white movies where he built him a wife, like a bride. I forgot what the movie's called. And basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to pick up the pieces of your wife. So like maybe that level is like in a castle, and then there's 4 parts to the piece. And you have to find the 4 pieces, and you exit the level. And when you finish the whole game, then you put your wife back together.
That's dark.
Yeah, it's really dark.
Morbid.
I liked it when I was a kid. I play tested it, and it was my favorite. Like I my favorite game of what my dad made back then. And then
Pause.
Jesus Christ.
No,
I'm not sure how long you've been missing a mic.
it's fine.
Yeah. And then my third game is actually, I think it's pretty mainstream, but compared to other mainstream titles, it didn't sell as much, which is, I think you guys would know by now, it's Titanfall 2. It is probably the best first-person shooter single player campaign that I've ever played.
This is not a mobile game, right?
Not a mobile
Okay,
game, yeah.
Cool.
Since maybe, I don't know, Halo 2 or something. It's
Oh,
better.
man.
It's better than all the modern.
I haven't thought about Halo in a long
Call of Duties.
time. Wow.
Well, it's coming. It's coming to the PC, the Master Chief Collection.
Wow.
That's new. That's very relevant. So I'm not gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys can get it cheap, like get Titanfall 2 for cheap, I think it's a really good 10-hour experience that you should just grab it and play it. No loot boxes, no bullshit, just good single player, good story, good characters, and mechs. Does it like mechs? That's it for me.
Wow. I'm gonna plug one other game actually. It is super mainstream in kind of England and other countries, but definitely not in America. And it is called Football Manager.
Yeah, right.
I feel like a lot of Americans have never heard of this game because they don't watch soccer, but it's one of the best management sims of all time. It's just basically all text-based until you get to actually simulating the match. It's kind of like FIFA Manager, except all of it is built the entire back end on the management side.
I think it's actually
It's super good.
top sales on Steam right now.
because it's all British.
2019.
Yeah, it's all football soccer fans.
I think it's
play
pretty
it.
mainstream in with soccer fans.
But
and
whenever I talk about games with people that play games, no one has ever heard of this game. That's why I want to talk about it.
Have you played a web-based football manager game called Hat Trick? This is long. This came a long time, over 10 years ago.
Flash.
No.
So it's web based, right? So you sign up for a team, and it basically puts you in a random league or group, and then you have a set amount of money, and then basically you have to train your players, and then you're playing against everybody on the website. And so every Tuesday or Thursday, I can't remember that. It was a long time ago.
Oh, so it's a live game.
It's still on right now.
That's like Neopets.
Yeah, it's still on right now. And then basically it'll simulate your game.
Yeah.
And then it can send you email updates on the play-by-plays.
Yeah.
And then basically you can use your money to trade people off and stuff. It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of these little pockets that are just no one has ever heard of.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were our favorite games that no one else has ever played or heard of.
Probably.
Well, for the most part.
Yeah.
Cool. That was episode 4, and we'll be back next time with something else that is super irrelevant, but we don't know what yet.
We still haven't done the Switch showdown yet.
Right.
Because
Next
we're so
time.
irrelevant. Yes.
So irrelevant. Next time.
Next time.
Yeah.
See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.